Today's topic is how to apply for child maintenance. The same principles apply to a person applying for maintenance for him or herself. So, for example, if you are a spouse and you want to claim maintenance from your husband or your wife, you can use the same principles or the same form and approach the maintenance court for yourself as well. However, because applying for child maintenance is more of a problem in today's society, we shall focus on that topic. But remember, if you are an adult or you would like to claim maintenance from your child, or you would like to claim maintenance from your spouse or somebody that has a legal obligation to maintain you, you can follow the same steps basically and approach the maintenance court for maintenance. Today's topic, as I mentioned, how to apply for child maintenance. So that's where we're going to go ahead and deal with. The long and the short of this specific topic is that a parent, both parents, have a legal duty to support and maintain his or her child. And if that parent does not do that, the law comes in. And that allows you as a caregiver or the parent that predominantly cares for the minor child and requires maintenance from the other parent to approach a court, because it's illegal not to maintain your children, full stop. And the law comes in and the law will assist you in enforcing that. But before we go and deal with the consequences of not complying with the maintenance order, let us first deal with the issue on how to apply for child maintenance. First, get the order. Firstly, you have to be able to confirm that you are the caregiver of the child, you are the parent of the child, that you are the one that's caring for the child and require maintenance from the other party. That's very, very important. And if you are that person, you are the parent, you need to approach the maintenance court as soon as possible. And there's a very few things we advise a party to go to court as soon as possible. Maintenance is one of those things. You need to deal with it sooner than later. Do not wait a few weeks, a few months for you to first have the courage to approach the maintenance court. You need to go today if you require maintenance for your child. Now, if you go online on the government website, you can just Google application for child maintenance order. You'll find this form, which is on the screen now. And this form needs to be completed by you, and you need to take it to the maintenance court in order for the maintenance court to process it. It's very simple. I'll go through this form with you shortly, and do not be intimidated by the concept maintenance court, and do not be intimidated where people tell you you will receive a less maintenance if you go to the maintenance court. That's not correct. The law is the law. We have maintenance courts, we have magistrates, we have prosecutors, we have maintenance officers, we have maintenance investigators, we have clerks. All those people are there to ensure that you obtain the necessary maintenance for your child. So in completing this form, you download it, or you can go to the maintenance court. That is also an option. Don't wait a few days to download it. Go immediately to the maintenance court. You start with it. You are the complainant. So you're complaining that you are not receiving adequate maintenance, or you're not receiving maintenance at all. Your full name, your date of birth, your identity number, living at, working at. If you're not working, you say you're unemployed. Telephone number, nearest police station, you include that as well. And then you deal with the defendant. Now, the defendant is a person who has to pay the child maintenance. It could be the father, it could be the mother. depending upon the circumstances. There are many cases whereby fathers are the primary caregiver and they take the mother to the maintenance court. So the defendant in this specific case, his or her full name, same details, born on, identity number, living at, working at, and so on, and nearest police station. Then you go at the end of this document, or this page, my apologies, is legally liable to maintain me, possibly for you, let's say you are married to this person, or the following children mentioned in 4 below, who is or are under my care. Very important, they need to be under your care. Now, if you are claiming for yourself, the defendant is legally liable to maintain me because he or she is my spouse. Or the children mentioned in 4 below is or are under my care because I'm the mother, the father, the caregiver, whatever the facts are. The defendant has not supported myself or the said children since a certain date. You need to include that as well. Or made no contribution towards the maintenance, or made the following contribution towards maintenance, whatever the facts are. We can say he only pays for the school fees, but he's not paying towards the transport. Or he or she only gives me 1,000 rand towards groceries, but gives nothing towards school fees and so on. I'm being very basic here. Now you have to complete point number 4. I request that the defendant be ordered. So ordered meaning only a court can order you. Be ordered to make the following contribution towards maintenance. A weekly or monthly contribution. Monthly makes more sense. Weekly might be a bit too complicated. Depending on the amount of kids you have, here is a few, but let's say you have 2 kids, so you'll say for the one child that's in primary school, you require so much money, and for the other child, you require that much. You provide the name and the date of birth for both kids. Now later on you'll see how you work out how much you have to include, what amount you have to insert here. So leave this out for now. Let's deal with it a bit later on once we've determined how much the child actually costs. And we work out the calculation. So you insert the name and the date of birth. The first payment should be made. I always advise my clients to say as soon as possible, or to say by the 1st of that month, and thereafter on or before the 1st of the next month. Put early dates here. These dates doesn't really make much difference as long as you make it as soon as possible, because once this matter gets heard in a few months' time, or a few weeks' time, the court will deal with the matter accordingly then. But don't say in 6 months' time, say now. So on the 1st of the month or the 7th of the month, all payments should be made to, you insert your banking details, my banking details or bank account, ABSA, FNB, Standard Bank, whatever the case may be, and what else you require from this person, from this parent. Other contributions, for example, medical and dental costs, school fees, fees for tertiary institutions, school expenses for sports or cultural activities, birth expenses, and maintenance for children from birth. Now that's very interesting. Basically, if you incurred expenses for the birth of the child, and the other party has not looked after the child or cared for the child or paid any support for the child since birth until now, when you're making this application, you should quantify that amount. Let's say for the birthing cost, 1,000 rand, I'm using very simple figures here, and every month thereafter, for the first 2 years, the child cost, let's say, another 1,000 rand. So that's 24 plus 1, that's 25,000. That's what you do for the first 2 years. From the years following from there, the child became more expensive, and maybe 2.5, whatever the facts are. You unpack that in an Excel sheet, you work it out, and that forms part of your application. So you can insert here, I would like an amount of, or I request an amount of, let's say, 30,000 rand for the first year of the child's birth, since for the first year of the child's life. My apologies. Whatever the facts are, you can deal with that as well. Many people do not know that you can claim maintenance from the birth of the child, as opposed to when you are applying for child maintenance the first time. Particulars of my assets and monthly, weekly, or weekly income and expenditure supported by documentary proof where possible, as follows. So remember, supported by documentary proof where possible. So if you own a car, proof thereof, you own a property, proof thereof, your income, your salary slip, assets, investments, the court needs to know what is your worth. Now, before I go on, maintenance is not determined by the amount of money you earn alone. Your assets plays a role as well. So if a parent has to pay child maintenance, he or she cannot say, I am unemployed. No, if he or she has property, assets, that is also wealth, that can be sold and that can be used towards maintenance as well. You complete a fixed property, investment, savings, your income, gross, net, and so on. So that you complete, be honest here. Now we work out your expenditure. Now let's say for argument's sake, you earn 1,000 rand a month. I'm using simple figures here. But to survive, you cost, let's say 800 rand per month. All these items, you've completed whatever the case may be. So we're dealing with 1,000. Your two kids, they cost most probably 200 rand each. So 800 plus 2, 1,200 rand. You require obviously maintenance. Don't complete these specific items and put exorbitant amounts in that is not true, and that doesn't make sense. If you earn 1,000 rand per month, how can your expenditure be 10 or 15,000 rand per month? I think you know where I'm going to with that. But complete it as honestly as possible. Once you come to the end, and you have now confirmed that my children or my child costs so much money, or the would cost so much money, or I require so much money, be creative. You can, for example, say, I am not incurring expenditure for argument's sake. Let's say, what's simple way, a security alarm, because I require one, but would like to have one. And you insert it away, 500 rand in brackets, require, not actually incurred. Be creative. I sometimes advise clients, depending upon the facts of the matter, to actually put all these things in an Excel sheet with explanations and present it to the court. But let's say we come to a figure here at the bottom, and let's say the figure for the children cost, let's say 2,000 rand per month. Now, you do not know what the other party earns, so you can't really justify, or not justify, can't specifically assume what his contribution or her contribution should be, because what if he or she earns double your income? Therefore, under those circumstances, I always advise a client, put a reasonable amount in here, but if that amount should change later on, advise the court of once you obtain information regarding the other party. So the long and the short of this video, please apply to the maintenance court as soon as possible. Complete this form, go with the documentation, and lodge it at the maintenance court as soon as possible. Thank you very much for watching.